And, well, we always had a lot of fun with this one. The Jailhouse Rock.
Hey, let's get out of here! Hey, pick them off this!
Said he said next. I wanna stick around, I wanna get my kick. Everybody let's rock. Everybody knows hell. Who's there to do the jail? There to do the jail. 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 Then do the